You ever wake up and just know something's off? Not like I need coffee off. I mean bone tired, soul tired. The kind of exhausted where you slept a full 8 hours, maybe 9, and you still feel like you got hit by a truck. That was my life for longer than I want to admit. Every single morning, I'd open my eyes and immediately wish I hadn't. My body was there, but my energy? Gone. Missing. Like it took a vacation without telling me. And the worst part? Nobody took it seriously. Everyone had the same useless advice. Just go to bed earlier, try melatonin, maybe you're depressed, or my personal favorite, maybe you're just lazy. But I knew it wasn't laziness. Deep down, I knew something else was happening, something I couldn't name yet. Here's what nobody tells you. You don't start your day when you wake up. You start it the night before. Actually, you start it across all 23 other hours of your day. The way you live when you're not sleeping determines everything about how you feel when you are. That realization changed my entire life. I stopped hunting for quick fixes and magic supplements. I stopped blaming myself for being broken. Instead, I started rebuilding my rhythm, piece by piece, not with expensive gadgets or biohacking nonsense, but with 4 simple habits that sound almost too basic to matter, except they do matter profoundly. This isn't going to be some fix your sleep in 3 easy steps pitch. You're not a machine that needs tweaking. What you need, what I needed, was reconnection, to light, to time, to stillness, to the way your body was actually designed to work. Let me show you what I mean. The first thing I had to face was my mornings, specifically what I was doing in those first 10 minutes after opening my eyes. I used to grab my phone immediately, before I even sat up in bed. Emails, messages, Instagram, news, usually bad news. I convinced myself this was productive, that I was getting ahead of my day. But here's what was actually happening. I was teaching my brain that mornings meant chaos. Think about it. The first thing you feed your brain becomes the lens for your entire day. And I was feeding mine stress and notifications before it even got sunlight, before water, before my own thoughts had a chance to show up. Then I learned something that sounds so obvious now, but completely shifted my perspective. Your brain doesn't actually know what time it is. It only knows what light tells it. My body wasn't confused. It was being lied to. By me. Every morning with that blue screen glow before the sun ever touched my face. So I stopped. Cold turkey. For the first 10 minutes after waking up, I did one thing and one thing only. I went to a window. Or better yet, I stepped outside. I let natural light hit my eyes and the air hit my skin. Something shifted immediately. I felt clearer, more aligned, like my entire system had been waiting for this exact signal and finally got it. Your circadian rhythm is your internal clock. It controls everything. Hormones, body temperature, alertness, digestion, mood, all of it. And the master cue for this entire system? Light. Real light. Morning sunlight tells your body, hey, it's daytime, wake up. Cortisol spikes in a healthy way. Melatonin shuts off. Your brain gets permission to be alert and focused. But when the first light you see is artificial, your brain thinks it's still night. Those notifications and red dots, they put your nervous system in defense mode, not alignment mode. Getting light before screens gave me my mornings back. Calm mornings, aligned mornings, mornings where I actually felt present instead of already behind. The second habit hit me even harder because I'd been doing the exact opposite for years. I used to eat dinner late, like 9:30, 10 o'clock late, heavy meals, dessert, more screen time. Then I'd shuffle to bed and wonder why I woke up foggy and heavy, like I hadn't actually rested at all. Here's why. When you eat late, your body stays busy digesting while you're trying to sleep. Your digestive system is working overtime, your blood sugar is spiking and crashing, your core temperature stays elevated when it should be dropping. All of this delays sleep onset, disrupts melatonin production, and completely sabotages your body's recovery process.
I started eating dinner 3 hours earlier than I used to. Lighter meals, way less sugar. And I'm not exaggerating when I say the effect was immediate. I started getting sleepy naturally around the same time every night. My sleep deepened. I woke up feeling light, clear, like my body had actually been allowed to rest instead of working the night shift. There's this whole field of study called chrononutrition. Basically, when you eat matters just as much as what you eat. Late eating reduces slow-wave sleep, the deepest, most restorative kind. It throws off your circadian rhythm. It tanks your metabolic health over time. Eating in alignment with daylight, not with artificial schedules or convenience, gave my body back its natural rhythm. Even just shifting one meal earlier can completely change how you feel in the morning. The third habit hit me even harder because I'd been doing the exact opposite for years. I used to my nights were loud. Not loud in volume, but loud in energy. Screens everywhere, multitasking, late snacks, scrolling. I thought I was relaxing, but I was actually revving myself up, keeping my brain in overdrive right up until I collapsed into bed. Here's the thing, we don't fall asleep like flipping a light switch. We fall asleep like a sunset, gradually, quietly, with softness. I created a boundary at 9 o'clock, not a hard rule, but a signal. Warmer lights, quieter sounds, slower pace. I switched from overhead light to lamps. I closed my laptop. I put my phone in another room, actually in another room, not just on the nightstand. I played ambient music or read something intentionally boring. The first few nights felt empty, almost uncomfortable, but then I realized the silence wasn't emptiness. The silence was the thing I'd been missing. This wasn't a routine. Routines are for productivity. This was a ritual. Rituals are for remembering who you are underneath all the noise. That stillness softened my thoughts. It dropped my shoulders. My body started yawning naturally before bed, instead of me forcing myself to lie down while my mind raced. The science backs this up completely. Predictable wind-down periods increase melatonin production. They lower your heart rate. They activate your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body that tells you it's safe to rest. When you give your body this kind of softness at night, your sleep quality jumps. Your morning clarity jumps with it. Nights stopped being this blur between dinner and collapse. They became sacred space. The fourth habit sounds almost too simple, but it's the one that locked everything else into place. I used to wake up in fight or flight mode, phone in hand, brain already racing, feeling behind before I'd even stood up. Starting your day like that makes your whole day reactive instead of rhythmic. You're constantly catching up to something you can't name. So I added movement. Not exercise, just gentle, intentional movement within 30 minutes of waking up. Stretching, a short walk, sometimes just 5 minutes of music with my eyes closed, swaying. No gym, no sweat, no motivation required. Just a signal. We're awake now. Movement wakes up your body and your brain at the same time. Blood starts flowing. Your nervous system shifts gears. Your circadian rhythm locks in tighter. You stop waiting for energy to arrive and start generating it yourself. Dopamine rises, serotonin rises, focus improves, mood stabilizes. Your core body temperature increases, which reinforces your rhythm even more. And the compound effect builds day after day. Better focus leads to less stress. Less stress leads to calmer evenings. Calmer evenings lead to deeper sleep. Deeper sleep leads to easier wake-ups. Easier wake-ups lead to better movement. The cycle feeds itself. Even on days when I don't feel like it, I move anyway. And that first step always brings the same thing: clarity, lightness, a sense that I'm in control of my day instead of my day controlling me. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. You're not broken, you're just out of rhythm. The world we live in trains us to be out of sync. Eating late because that's when we have time, staring at screens until we fall asleep because that's just what everyone does, waking up to alarms and notifications and noise, rushing, reacting, never stopping long enough to let our bodies remember how they're supposed to work. These 4 habits aren't fixes, they're not hacks, they're a return to yourself, to stillness, to the kind of sleep that actually restores you. When your rhythm comes back, something shifts. You wake up more clear, more human, more in sync with the version of yourself that's been waiting underneath the exhaustion. It's not about perfection. It's not about optimization or biohacking or being the most productive version of yourself. It's about a few small choices you make in the dark that slowly, quietly bring back your light. You don't need to be fixed. You just need to remember.